Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. It's 3 days when Rahul Gandhi did his explosive second press conference, which clearly pointed out to an unknown force which is adding and deleting votes. He pointed out at an organized, planned operation which is done through a software, which is done through a call center. He also cited that 18 letters were written by Karnataka CID in case of Karnataka's Aland constituency, where 18 letters were sent to the Election Commission, but they did not bother to answer even a single letter. What repeatedly Karnataka CID was wanting to know, and the details of which, like the OTP trails, the destination ports, the destination devices, all these details have not been given by the Election Commission. Now, what does one really say? If there is a bank fraud or if there is a credit card cloning, what does one do? You go to the bank, you report, the bank investigates, and apparently we take the help of the police as well. But if this kind of a massive, large scale voter theft has happened, who is really going to investigate? Who should be investigating? And if Election Commission has closed its doors, like what it said the very first day, when Rahul Gandhi did his second press conference, they immediately said that no, all these allegations are baseless. Within 10 minutes of the press conference, they said all these allegations are baseless. So I thought of speaking to former CEC Chief Election Commissioner, Mr. O.P. Rawat, this evening. Thank you so much, Mr. Rawat, for joining on the Federal. And my first question, sir, to you is, what do you really have to say to Rahul Gandhi's second press conference? Because it levels huge allegations. It's pointing out towards a syndicate which is behind this voter deletion and addition, and it is done with the help of a centralized system. Now, can this be possibly done?
Nilu, the first thing is that there can be no centralized system through which any such thing could happen with the Election Commission's interface.
Okay.
But possibility is that individuals can do this kind of thing, and I think that is what the FIR is all about, which was lodged by Election Commission themselves to investigate these things. And I think Karnataka CID
I'll
is
just
investigating
interrupt you here. I'll just interrupt you here. You are saying that there can be no centralized system. You are
yeah.
refuting that charge that there cannot be any centralized system which can be working behind this. Now, this
Yes.
changes the dynamics of what Rahul Gandhi said that day. He said that there is a system because he pointed out to us, and he also presented to people whose names were deleted. They said their mobile numbers were used, but they did not know that their mobile number was used. Now, how can that be possible?
No, that is something which relates to digital literacy of individuals in our country.
Hmm.
Many a times, uh, quite a few voters, they give their telephone for any kind of help from experts, and they don't know that for what purpose their mobile phone will be used. Those are the things which happen, and that is why even RBI starts these advertisement campaigns that सतर्क रहिए, ये मत करिए, ऐसा मत करिए, all those things. Second thing is literacy, computer literacy of our own election machinery also. That is also at times under question. Uh, Rarely we will find that one or two persons who are in the electoral registration officer's office, they are not computer literate. And if a responsibility devolves on them for doing some work on ERO net, then what happens that instead of themselves doing it, they entrust some computer expert and they give their credentials to that
No, so
person.
are you saying, sir, are you saying that the election commission officials are so computer illiterate that they might hand over the phones to some other person and he might do this cloning? I mean, how does one really digest this fact?
It is not election commission. Election commission for polling purpose for electoral roll purpose has to expand itself from just about 3 election commissioners, 300 employees at Delhi. They have to expand to millions for the state or for the country. Like for polling, they expend themselves to 1.5 crore, that is 15 million. Imagine that number. Now, that number of government employees can never be expected 100% to be computer literate, can never be expected to be 100% mobile savvy.
No, but Mr.
That is
Rawat,
the issue.
this is a systemic problem. Now that election commission has to find out as to how they make the whole system foolproof. But here, the voters' names are being deleted and added on the will. This is like a criminal conspiracy.
It's
And one can you give the benefit of doubt that a person is computer illiterate, and which is why all this is happening? Now, is there an error probability? Would you say
not
that this has happened because of an error?
not all that. These are generalizations. I said rarely.
Okay.
If out of 15 million, one is like that, how can you generalize that the election commission is like that? The window is opening just because election commission did not take the bull by the horns, did not investigate at the first instance. If they investigated the allegations for every little complaint immediately and put the facts in public domain, nothing would have happened. But instead of doing that, election commission went back and said, "Ki, you give this, only then we will investigate." That is the issue. And that is why things are going a little out of hand. I am just telling here that rarely out of these 15 million people, there are a few who are not that way. And that is what, there is a chance that something like that happened, and some, like this FIR was made for hackers. Some hackers might have done it.
No, but sir, here it seems what Rahul Gandhi pointed out, it almost looks like as if the entire system has been bypassed. I mean, you have a form 7 which is filled, then there is a login created, a password created, then an OTP generated, and then that fellow doesn't know that his name has been deleted. I mean, this is a scientific process of deleting the votes. And I mean, here it seems that the system has been bypassed. You said that no, there cannot be a centralized system. But here, actually, if you look at the reality of the situation, what Rahul Gandhi explained, it seems like the entire system has been bypassed. Now, who is supposed to be authenticating on this fact? Who is going to verify on this fact as to what has really gone wrong?
That election commission verified. First hand, they found that something was wrong, something was amiss, and therefore they filed FIRs. That's as simple as that. And therefore, one should not doubt about their credibility. They were above board, and they immediately filed FIR when they noticed this kind of thing there. Only thing is what you said, that this was systematic. It is not, because in a big state like Karnataka, if you could find one or two constituency, some few numbers here,
But
some
sir,
few
if it
numbers
is
there.
not systemic, then how was it that the serial number 1 which was generated, against which so many deletions happened, and Rahul Gandhi showed that, and the kind of entries which were made, entries like Sasti, names like SUJ, VUJ, IJK. Now, what are those names? What are those addresses? Then serial number 1, he said that all were serial number 1 whose names were deleted. Now, how can that be? That has to be computer generated. Otherwise, how will only serial number 1 show these kind of deletions?
These things, unless somebody investigates, like CID in Karnataka is investigating, only they can come up with the facts. One
No,
can't
but what
comment.
about no, but sir, what about Mr. Rawat? What about election commission? Are they not supposed to investigate this? I mean, this
No,
system, it almost seems, has been hacked. It looks like a system has been hacked. People are deleting, adding votes, and election commission is quiet about it.
no, they were suspicious that something wrong has happened, and therefore they immediately lodged FIR, and investigating agency is on it. That's good enough. Because every role cannot be taken over by election commission. There are agencies for every role.
No, but I remember very clearly in my last interview I did with you, once Rahul's first press conference was there. He said that you only said that immediately when a matter like this comes up, And even you used to erase all the doubts when you were the CEC. So election commission has such a closed door approach. Rather than saying that, okay, we will look into the facts, we will take a few days, we will look into it, they come up with a rebuttal in 10 minutes. Not even 10 minutes, it's less than 10 minutes, and they say all allegations are baseless. Now I don't understand that kind of a reply from the election commission.
That is the kind of difference. You are right there, but election commission did at that time whatever was required to be done. Prima facie investigations revealed to them that there was something amiss, and therefore FIR was lodged. FIR cannot be lodged without any reason. And that's why, after the preliminary investigation, they found that something was wrong, and therefore they filed FIR. And investigating agency is on it.
But sir, here it seems that the EC server, the server of the election commission, it looks compromised or somebody has tampered into it. Now, who really holds the custody of the EC server? It is the CEC, or you have a separate IT department or a cyber department which looks into all these kind of things. Now, this kind of a discrepancy, I'm sure, was not there when you were the CEC. Nothing of this sort came up. But if this kind of a discrepancy comes before you, and had you been the CEC, who would have really actually investigated the matter? Had you been the present CEC, what would you have done with complaints like these?
Same thing which was done earlier. FIR was lodged after preliminary investigation, whatever they gathered, and they understood that something wrong has happened. The only thing is that survey is not compromised. EC's survey can never be compromised. EC's database can never be compromised. All those have such safety things, such firewalls, that nobody can do it. That much I can
No,
certify.
but sir, there is a third party which is deleting, adding votes. And there are people whose names are not appearing on the voter rolls. Rahul Gandhi presented two people, Suryakant and Babita Chaudhary, who said that they did not know. Their phones have been used, their names are not there, their names were deleted. Now, what else would you need? And similarly, there were several other instances like Godabai, then Nagraj. There were several examples which he gave. And these are all living voters.
So I think the only alternative is that all those facts which were revealed during this event should be given to the investigating agency, and they should be held totally, so that they can come to the conclusion and bring the whole exercise to a logical end.
In your own department, as in the election commission department, is there a department which is dedicated to this, or which will look into complaints like these? Have a cyber team which can look into it, because it almost points out at a syndicate which is active behind this kind of a alleged fraud which has happened.
Prima facie, it may be looking as syndicate, but these syndicates are just non-existent, because such things can never happen. As I already told you, election commission has
No, but sir, why are you so confident that it cannot happen? And Rahul Gandhi says that he has got 100% bulletproof proof that what he's saying is right.
uh, generally complainant is always confident, because they have tested their own systems, they have tested their own feedback systems, and that should be accepted also, because political parties themselves cannot verify, they have no resources to verify on the ground. So, and we must respect them, because they are a stakeholder in the election process. However, election commission has a team for operating ERONet, for operating these systems, and they always be in touch with certain our cyber security agencies at Delhi and all other agencies which
No,
are
but which are those
responsible.
agencies whom you contact? Had you been the CEC, which are
Certain,
the agencies?
certain,
Certain. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So certain intervenes in these kind of emergency response situations.
Yeah, they will guide the election commission's team for
Right.
doing whatever is required. Like, for example, electoral roll. When we
Hmm.
found that our digital electoral roll was at risk, and somebody from foreign country was trying to access it, we approached certain, and they said, please don't put digital electoral roll in the public domain. You make a PDF and then make an image of it, and put only an image in the public domain, so that it is protected from all sides. And that is why the electoral roll of EC is in PDF image format in the public domain, not in digital
Right.
format. That kind of thing we
No, but
always do.
right. So you are saying that wherever a situation like this happens, you approach the CERT in department and they get into this kind of damage control. But who
Right.
controls the password? Now, supposing there is a central server, who knows the password? Do all the people have the authorized access, or it is only the CEC or the three election commissioners who have an authorized access? I really want to understand from you how it functions, because now the scientific details are coming
Election
out.
election commissions digital technology paraphernalia is controlled by a deputy election commissioner who is in control, not all
Okay.
three ECs or CEC. And that person in charge does it all.
Okay. So normally he's a technical expert, you are saying, who knows how to handle all this digital data.
And
Okay.
he has all the technical persons at his command in
Okay, so
his
how many
in
people
his
are handling this? I'm asking you these minor details because it's important, because the way those granular details have been put out by Rahul Gandhi, where he's talking about destination ports, destination devices, OTP trails. Now here there is a number OTP also has been generated, but people do not know that their phone has been used. Now there are, I mean, either the possibility is that some random phone numbers have been put up, or deliberately some numbers have been cloned, hacked, and misused. What do you think could be the possibility in the present case? What Rahul Gandhi has said in the second press conference.
that is the only possibility which you mentioned, that if their phone was not used, it means their phone got cloned, or the SIM got cloned and somebody operated on their phone. That is what is a plausible explanation.
So then does the election commission say that no, all these allegations are baseless, like what Mr. Gyanish Kumar
That
said?
that is something I don't sort of support. Election Commission must always take responsibility of every complaint squarely and investigate deep down, right up to the level of investigating agency with the concerned police or cyber security department, or else if it is in judicial process, then the court, or if it is within their administrative domain, the administrative section which is dealing with it. Only once they have the facts from that agency, those facts should be put in the public domain and should be provided to the complainant so that
No,
they
but
are satisfied.
Mr. Rawat, what you're saying is 100% correct. But here you have a CEC who doesn't bother to respond to 18 letters in 18 months, despite repeated reminders to give them the details. Here you have an election commission which has closed its eyes, which is not ready to hear. So is it not obligatory on election commission to respond to Karnataka CID?
It is obligatory that some case you have entrusted to them for investigation and further action, then it becomes obligatory for you to supply whatever assistance they want, whatever documents or records they want. One has to give.
But looking at the present situation, which the manner in which the election commission is responding, sir, what would you really say? People will doubt, people will point out at some kind of a collusion, and people are already pointing out at a big cyber fraud which is happening in the name of electoral rolls and the way the voter rolls are being managed. Would you also say that it's almost like a cyber crime, what Rahul Gandhi has pointed out?
If it was not a cyber crime, as EC would not have filed an FIR, because the facts are only those relating to cyber attempts. So they have filed FIR. That means prima facie a crime has taken place, and therefore investigation has been entrusted to CID of Karnataka. Only thing is that EC should be coming out with all the steps taken in this matter, and if CID is asking for something, why this could not be given, when will it be given, so that the investigation is assisted fully, and then they can bring the whole thing to a logical end.
But if the CEC is not answering to the specific questions, what does it go to show? According to you, what is the idea you have in your mind when you say that Ganesh Kumar is just not ready to speak on this? He's not ready to open the doors to any kind of questions.
I have hardly any comment to offer on that, because I have always seen election commission proactively coming out with facts and putting in public domain. And I think for an agency like election commission, this is the best strategy. that whenever any complaint comes from anywhere, any stakeholder or any voter, they must immediately investigate and put that in public
So, but
domain.
all the people who've been working on vote theft, they are working on democracy issues, they have been pointing out, and I'm talking about senior IS officers like Mr. Devasahayam. I'm talking about people like Tista Setalvad. I'm talking about technical experts like Madhav Arvind Deshpande, whom we have interviewed in the recent days. And they have also said that, it looks like some kind of a syndicate which has been operational. In fact, Mr. Devasahayam on the phone, he told me that this syndicate has been active since 2016. And he took your name and he said that when Mr. Rawat was the CEC, he suppressed all this. But immediately when Mr. Rawat quit, this syndicate became more active, and which is why the elections were compromised. This is what Mr. Devasahayam told me on the phone. And I'm quoting him on record.
Actually, with due respect to my senior colleague, Mr. Devasahayam, because he has been very active in the election space, and he has been from civil society, he has always been raising issues. And when I was there, he raised many issues. And I remember having replied to his article somewhere. And then I went to IIM Bangalore, where they had gathered their experts,
Yes.
engineers, etc., to see that EVM is foolproof or not. All those things were done at that time. Uh, and therefore, with due respect, I would say that syndicate word is not appropriate in this context, because since all the data
Terminology
basic,
may not be appropriate, but the processes do point out towards an organized and a planned operation which is being done. Maybe syndicate word is maybe it's not like
there,
a.
therefore, with all those weaknesses which I pointed out earlier to you, that the voter, the workers with the election commission, at times, though rarely, but there may be some people who are not that literate on computer, on mobile phone, on doing things there. Uh, they, with bona fide belief, entrust this to somebody who is an expert. And
But sir, how can
this
you justify? How can you justify that 6,018 names have been deleted in Aland and 6,050 names deleted in Maharashtra's Rajura, and similarly in Mahadevapura, some 1,000 lakh voters' names have been tampered with. So this cannot be like a very. It does look like something which is being done deliberately. It can't be an error. It can't be that benefit of doubt which we are giving, that okay, that person is not computer literate, so he might have entrusted his phone to somebody else. I mean, on this scale, sir, is it possible really?
these numbers have come in the complaint from a stakeholder. So one should not straight away deny those numbers. But otherwise, these numbers have not been verified that these are the numbers really we are dealing with. These are only allegations that this many numbers. So at allegation stage, yes, those numbers are there, but the Election Commission's preliminary investigation must have shown some number which is not known to me, and that's why they file an FIR. Now, that number is holds the key. Whether it is something which can be called a syndicate, which can be called a big cyber attack or something like that. Uh, Otherwise, if this number is just small, the reasons I have pointed out, those are the reasons which we generally found during our tenure there, during 2015 to 2019. We found that that few persons were like this, and they entrusted their own credentials, their own things to others, and
No, but sir,
others.
this kind of a pattern repeated not in one but multiple constituencies. Now they're pointing out a similar modus operandi in Haryana, in Maharashtra, in Varanasi. There are various names which are coming up, and I mean, maybe Congress is doing it for political reasons also. That they're trying to say that okay, this is something which we are expanding after one constituency after another. But then the kind of proof which Rahul Gandhi is presenting, how can one dismiss that? And he's very clearly saying that there is a centralized software, there is a call center which is functioning, and it looks like a planned operation.
One should never dismiss any stakeholder's complaint on the face value. One should always be taking it
But sir,
seriously.
that is what exactly Mr. Gyanesh Kumar is doing. He's dismissing it. He's outrightly saying that these allegations are baseless.
That is not appropriate dealing of such matters, and we have to do immediately whatever is within our resources. We should investigate. We should put our man on the job, and once prima facie case is established, like Alan case, they handed it over to the CID, and FIR has been lodged. Similar action should be taken. Otherwise, what happens that it snowballs from state to state and others, because they are
But sir,
sure
it is
that it is
already
not.
snowballing now. It is already snowballing. It
So one
started
has
with Mahadevapura, and then now Rahul's claim that he's going to explode another hydrogen bomb in a few weeks from now. So, which means I don't know what all details will come, because the second press conference was much more detailed. It was much more granular than the first press conference he did.
That is why I would say that the best course of action for EC is, as soon as the allegation is made, immediately put your experts on the job, investigate, and if you find that something wrong has been done, do the root cause analysis, which used to be the practice at Election Commission, and take preventive action on that, as well as curative action through lodging FIR. So all actions must be immediately precipitated in a manner that any attempt in future is deterred.
One last question, sir, before I wind up the interview. That again, I'm coming back to the same question, that which points towards a big cyber fraud, planned operation, centralized force which is doing all this. You said in the beginning that there cannot be a centralized system. But
Yeah.
again, I'm asking you this question, that can there be a possibility that there could be some kind of a force which has been created deliberately to do these kind of voter deletions and additions?
That I want to say that it could be there, because this kind of thing is unimaginable. And ECI's databases are so safe that nobody can reach them. National Voter Service Portal, from where you submit Form 7, etc., and deletions, etc., can take place. That is very safe, and
No, but
that can be.
if what you are saying, that the data systems are very safe, they have a firewall, nobody can breach it. Then from where on earth are these disclosures coming from Rahul Gandhi? Who is lying then? Is Rahul Gandhi lying? He says that these are 100% bulletproof proofs which he has, and he's going to reveal more. So I mean, I just don't know how do we handle a situation like this, and it's an important issue which relates to the voting rights of the people, and you are disenfranchising the voters
I
completely.
won't say that anybody is lying. I would just say that investigate, give it to investigative agency, and let investigative agency come to a conclusive report, put up a challan, and let the law take its own course. And
Okay.
election commission must do root cause analysis to nip things in bud and prevent in future any such happening again.